What healing cards do you use? Mother Peace. Yes. Mother Peace. I've been using these for like 20 years. They've gotten me through everything. Like, oh my goodness. I've gone through so many decks because the art begins to wear off that I have to get a new deck. This is like probably my 6th deck that I've gone through. But yeah, they're really helpful. I've been getting vertigo and have never had it before. Is this a sign of something going on with the cosmos? Yeah, very likely. That's actually one of the symptoms of just upgrades and ascension. And yeah, I would have to look at your chart to really understand. And like I said, I can do like real quick readings to answer quick questions, and I can't do more than a half hour for a longer one, but I can refer you guys to somebody too if you want a longer one, but I would probably have to look at your chart. But I would say yes, I have bouts of that myself where I'm just like, whoa. So grounding is really important. Walking barefoot, carrying black stones in your pocket will really help to kind of mitigate that or help you with that. So you would love a reading as well. Huge transformation, like all at this time, and want to see how to help family ascend into transcend without hurting them or disconnecting. Also, these idea with the man in my life who is wonderful, but not my twin flame. I want to help a lovely transition with him. Okay, cool. Well, Jeanette, if you see my email, I can probably 2 weeks from now. And just, yeah, shoot me an email. What is Space Force guardianing us from? Is the timing of the announcement of the naming of the Guardians relevant to the 21st? Yeah, perhaps. Like this just kind of happened recently. I haven't had enough time to wrap my head around all of it. I've been super busy. Yesterday was nuts. And this is when this kind of information, came out. And of course, we've been hearing about Space Force, but I really, really need to dive in like a lot more to be able to answer this question in a good way. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, are there portals opening between 21st and 1st of January? Yeah, I mean, the whole Ascension window is about the stargates opening and the mother energy, the 13th gate. So whatever needs to kind of like open up and happen based in the mother, the consciousness of the planet, is going to happen a lot more easily because she's a lot more present. So if there's Stargate technologies or dark technologies trying to kind of shut this stuff down, it's going to be a lot harder. That's why they use media as the ultimate weapon. They're trying to manipulate the mind. That's really like the most deadly weapon of all. And for a lot of us, the easiest one to just shut down and shut off. It's like, we're not going to go there. We're not programmed. We're not buying into this, not into the divide or conquer either. Even if somebody wants to vote for Biden and I don't agree, it's like, I'm not going into hatred over it. But the media is the biggest weapon. And I know that's not really answering your question, but yeah, I know Mother Earth is up to some amazing things. Are there positive ETs, Saturn Council and Andromeda Council of humans here on Earth and in solar system in large amounts and supporting us? We have more support than we can imagine. I would recommend everybody listen to the latest YouTube I did with Elena. She's a major experiencer and contactee. Her story is incredible. She got to know Val Thor. Val Thor said that Eisenhower did not sign the treaty with the Greys, and she had to reach out to me and let me know because there's so much misinformation. And I have heard from other sources that, it was the blue unit of the NSA that signed the agreements, but, I have to have an open mind to any possibility. But she really clarified some things and also clarified a lot about the benevolent ETs that are supporting us. So there's way more benevolent ETs than not. And beings like the Aquafarians are able to reincarnate. They went extinct in the electrical wars. They haven't been able to reincarnate because the planet went into such a dark zone. So there's so much. And she said they're never giving up on us. They have not left. They're really intent on supporting us and helping us. Absolutely. So you guys will love that interview. Or I hope so. I got a lot of great feedback, and her and I are going to create an event. So if you're able to join the Cosmic Gaia subscription, people like her will be guests and really fascinating people that you can ask questions to that, that I've been able to interview. So I saw you on a podcast. You spoke of being chipped. What's the percentage of humans are chipped? Will it leave after we go from carbon to crystalline? Well, the chips, I would say, are trying to prevent us from going carbon to crystalline. And what's the percentage Well, as far as the implant I was talking about in the base of the skull, I heard it's almost like everybody. As far as other chips, I mean, there's the threat of that being in the vaccines, the RFID chip, that might be put in people in some other way. And that, would prevent the carbon to crystalline. If there's a chip already there, like we do have, I feel, we're able to neutralize it and offset it with our own frequency and just acknowledging, that it might be there. Ethereal implants are different than the ones that are actually in our physical body. Ethereal implants are easier to neutralize or deactivate through consciousness, and also with the physical. But yeah, it'll leave after we go from carbon-based to crystalline, absolutely. But we don't want any more, is the deal. We don't want any more chips. We don't want any more any of that kind of stuff. But where we are at right now with the level of awareness and knowledge we hold and what we're aligned with, will work that out for us in a lot of ways, as long as we stand in alignment with it. And we just stay on top of things. Do you feel that some of the new technologies like med beds and 0 point energy will be released in 2021 and onwards? I would love to think so. I think so. Yeah, so I'll just say yes to that. I think if we can get this Biden and the deep state out of the way, that's absolutely what's coming next. I missed the name of the author who talks about positive ETs. Okay, so her name's Elena, yeah, and it's on my YouTube channel. I heard that some people do not want to move on to this next vibration. Do you think there will be a lot of suicides, or where will these people go? Yes, I feel that just across the board, there's just, some people are going to resist the waking up. Some people are going to fall in despair because maybe they don't even have any concept of ascension, and they're just in deep overwhelm about, the virus and all the fear tactics. And there's a window where that's still like really, really heavy, so there will be a lot of that. And then in any like grand or big event that's going to like raise the vibration of the planet, some people aren't going to be able to handle that. They're not going to see it through the lens of, being upgraded. It's sort of like that dream I had when I was a kid. They all thought it was the atomic bomb, but it was this event where the solar energy was coming in to upgrade people. And some people couldn't have that. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of really worrisome about the suicides, and where these people go. I believe they go into sort of like a, I feel, if you're asking if where the souls of those who commit suicide go, I feel that they get taken care of by some sort of an angelic support team. I don't feel that they just go to hell, or that what dreams may come sort of scenario of like being, drowning in a bunch of skulls. But because a person's holding such negative thought forms, it really depends the vibration. Like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm not the most articulate today. So sometimes, and I hope this is appropriate, when I've not felt suicidal, but when I'm like, what if I did need to leave the earth plane? I would make it a ceremonial thing. I would make it like, I'm consenting to this. This is not dark. This is not coming from depression or self-hatred or I'm done with life. This is because for some reason I just can't be here. Like, I've thought about that. Like I would midwife myself or have somebody else assist me in transitioning in the most beautiful and peaceful way with nothing but good energy in my heart. But think about somebody who's killing themselves, that are depressed, that hate life, that are holding that dark, toxic energy. More than likely, they're going to experience something of a hell because they're already kind of in a hell. Because, it's not like our state of mind just gets completely wiped, I don't think. But I do feel that there's a lot of support. We have guides, we have angels with us. And so when a person commits suicide and they cross over, I believe that those guides and that support team is there to help that soul figure out what it's going to do next in order to get to the next level, and thrive at some point. I mean, I feel like we just have those kind of guides. I don't believe in a punishing God. I believe in just benevolence and unconditional love and forgiveness. So where will they go? I just feel like they'll find themselves, they'll find their way, and that we don't need to fear death no matter what happens. And I'm not saying that I'm going to, take my life in, but I'm thinking about it. Like, that's a very different vibration than like hanging myself. Right. Sorry to use myself as an example, but initiation though. It's like, we do have that free will, but it doesn't need to be in a dark kind of way. So I hope anybody who might not be able to make it through this time is mindful and conscious. As long as we have that, then things aren't so out of control. I hope that was an okay answer, you guys. Okay. But yeah, I do think we're going to see a lot of that. I'm really concerned about the vaccines of the weaponized. I mean, I would hope to think that it's not going to be dangerous, but the amount of people that are doing it so they can keep their jobs, it's like with what it could potentially do to the DNA, that's scary. That I would like, if somebody was going to force a vaccine in me and I knew that I was going to be like held down, I wouldn't want to be here on this. I'd rather die than have my DNA messed with. New type, but that's not going to happen. Mother Earth is in charge here, and we're all a part of her. And it's the mother father. It's the divine blueprint we all carry. New technology will heal many. How do you feel about the body being healed only? I feel the inner work is why the body is sick. Do you feel there's a conflict with that kind of healing? Do you believe that individuals should work with the past lives or this life to correct like a better human? Don't know if I explained that well. Yeah. Okay. So how do you feel about the body being healed only? Well, the inner work I feel is what, can facilitate healing. We do the inner work and we're able to like move out things or come to terms with certain things. But sometimes, things can kind of keep us in a loop, and it's not like, it's that easy. So greater healing technologies are going to help break certain patterns and help maybe reset or rewire the way the mind, body, spirit relationship flows. Because anytime there's a disconnect, the body suffers, and the inner work can help us to reclaim, who we are and stand in alignment with the healing energies that are always there and always available. And I don't think technology is necessarily, well, it depends what type of technology. I'm not into quick fixes. I mean, we have to be thorough. We want to be good people, dark individuals that are able to heal and still run dark energy, that are able to be healthy. I mean, a lot of the healthy people we see that are super, super dark are healthy or look healthy because of things like adrenochrome and like whatever healing technologies that they use. See, that I'm not in agreement to at all. But maybe a genetic thing that's been passed down. Yes, that makes sense to me. But never like not doing the inner work. I mean, this is what we're learning lessons from the times of Atlantis, that technological development and spiritual development have to go hand in hand. If one exceeds the other, we'll see what we saw in the past repeat itself, or upgrade to the next level of enslavement, where dark technology is used to benefit the elite, while we're all candidates for just being controlled remotely and surveillanced with no privacy, not even our own thought forms. So disclosure of positive benevolent technologies that are supportive of our DNA and that are supportive of nature and that are connected to nature will help to facilitate also an activation, because if the body heals, the vibration changes, and then the consciousness might be able to bring up stuff that needs to be resolved. So I think it can't be escaped, or else whatever you heal from is going to go back to the sickness again. So it's going to be in tandem, where these higher technologies are going to help to heal our physical bodies, and it'll activate a clearing, or the clearing comes first. And then if the body is still struggling, the technology will help break a pattern that keeps the body in that sort of feedback loop. It's kind of how I feel. Good afternoon, Laura. What would you recommend on things to do physically and mentally with the 21st coming up? Would this be a good time for a worldwide group meditation? It should be more focused on oneself. What will you be doing? Last of all, if you had time, I would love a card reading. Okay, hold on. I got to sneeze. Okay. I'm going to do like an event with Jet McCarty, and it's going to be a meditation thing. I'll probably hang around for a while just to benefit from that. And then I'll just be doing my own thing. I don't want to overly schedule things. I think it's just a really important day to just enjoy yourself and not take on too much. So meditation's good. I mean, it's really what you feel called to do. Some people don't like group meditations, but yeah, I'm probably just gonna go out into nature and But yeah, if you guys are on my newsletter, I'll send out the information about this meditation that I'm doing. So, and you mentioned a card reading. And I know we're at the last half hour. Let me just see how many questions are left. And if not, I can do it. Okay, there's quite a bit of questions. Okay, yes, I will record the thing tonight, and you can always message me like tomorrow or the next day. So, hold on. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry, guys. I lost where I was. And I don't, was that Kelly? Who was that? Whoever that was. Okay, Christy. I can do a card reading. I don't think I can do any more readings because we only have a half hour. So my email's there. We can always do a quick card reading. Tomorrow would be better than today. So just reach out to me. And Scott and Ashley. Hey, you guys. Good afternoon, Laura. What would you recommend on things to do physically? Okay, I already answered that. Yeah. So I'll send some info. And but yeah, I'm just like, I just want to just enjoy it and just eat good food, go for a nice walk, soak in some water with essential oils and just breathe deep. Maybe not check the news too much. I don't know, but I probably won't be able to resist. Can you please suggest ways that might make it easier to watch the painful things that are happening in the outer world now? I won't like watch, you don't like watching people suffer, be in such fear. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really hard. That if anything gets me and I have a hard time with, it's really, really difficult. But you just have to know that this is part of the greater journey of awakening. And these challenges are challenges we all face to some degree. We don't all handle them the same way. And so, just hold faith and trust that, they're going to have some sort of breakthrough, or they're going to, change everything. And I mean, this has happened to me so many times where I was like in the worst situation, living out of a vehicle, trying to take care of 2 babies, with a crazy man and no money. And my family was able to help here and there, but not that much. My mom sold the house right before. Anyway, that's beside the point. But I was like in the worst anxiety and fear and suffering on and off. And I would catch myself and I would just shift my perspective in the moment. And when I shifted my perspective, the most unbelievable and miraculous things happened. I ended up, just running into the right people. I was pulling money out of the ground. I mean, everything changed, right? And it was a simple shift of perception. I'm like, man, all this stress and anxiety is like eating me alive. It's not going to help my situation. And I got to remember who I am and what I'm made of. And that always, helps. So the suffering that we see might be one shift of perspective away from being relieved of that suffering and pain. What I can't stand seeing is people being lied to and then believing it and suffering in those like webs of deception. But the best we can do is just be a loving vessel and hold love in our heart and just know that this is just a part of how the awakening, happens is, we wake up from the suffering, we wake up from the pain. And once it happens, it's kind of a done deal. It becomes like a something you can always refer to in yourself. It's like every time I hit those same kind of energies, I have something I can refer to within myself that helps me break that, so I don't have to struggle with it. And I know that my life situation is way better now. So I hear you, in the here and now and what we're seeing. And it's just good to be a resource, and just consider yourself an ascension guide, or somebody that can help alleviate some of that suffering through just any kind of small acts of kindness, and just, a simple, kind word. Now, if it's people, in the hospital that are separated from family because of this virus thing, or people losing their job or small business. Yeah, it's like, this is really, why I do what I do. So when I see something that really, really upsets me, I'm like, this is part of my mission to do something about it. Even if I can't do that much, at least, I'm doing something, and it's keeping my creative energy engaged. So it keeps me from slipping into like a depression or over empathic overload. So that's why I'm, wanting to create a healing center and creating communities so that people have a place to go and meet other people and like feel like they're not alone and not isolated. And I, sometimes people call me from the hospital. They're like, I'm not allowed to see my family member. I'm just going through surgery, and I'll get on the call with them, and it makes their day. So I just do what I can, to be a resource and to lend a hand. And that always makes me feel better, instead of, you know, feeling helpless like I have so often, where it's like, and it's like, wait a second, I don't have to be helpless. I'm going to do something. I'll do something. I'll do as much as I possibly can.